Welcome to the King of the Quiet Game channel. We'll sit here on this Sunday afternoon and let y'all look at these cameras with me for the first time in well over a year. This one right here is the first rangefinder I ever bought. I paid 35 bucks for it. I bought it off of Craigslist, and the only reason I bought it, it was a non-working camera. The only reason I bought it was because I've seen all these videos about rangefinders and nobody ever really described what a rangefinder was, so I just had to see what it was. It was 35 bucks. I figured for 35 bucks it'd be something to sit on my shelf, and at least now I know what a rangefinder is. Best way I can describe it, which I haven't heard anybody else describe it, is when you look through the viewfinder and you're looking at your subject, images are apart like this. So if you've got one finger up and you cross your eyes looking at it and it separates, and when you bring your eyes back together it lines back up again. That's kind of what a rangefinder does. Your images, it's one image, but it's separated, and when you get it in focus, instead of being blurry and then sharp, and it's spread apart and then together when it's in focus. That's kind of how a rangefinder does. This is the first Yashica that I ever bought, and I'm just now realizing it looks like it has a filter of some kind on the end of it. Hey, look at that. Like I said, I bought it off Craigslist. I really didn't know what I was looking at. But the one thing that I did know was to check the lens for fungus, or check the lens. Check the lens for fungus. And this one does. Well, I'm not seeing it now. When I bought it, I thought I could see fungus in it. Maybe it was something on this filter. Heck, I don't know. maybe I bought a good camera. As I'm editing this, I just remembered you don't look through the lens on rangefinder, so that was pretty funny though, so I'll leave it in. But the way you have to look through the lens is to open the film back on it, and you can see through the lens. And that's the way I should have been looking at it. So there you go. But everything functions on it properly. I binge watched videos on these things for, I don't know, weeks before I finally bought one. And everybody called this the poor man's Leica. And now that I've got one and I realize what a freaking Leica costs, I'm like, this is not the poor man's Leica. Leica is a rich man's Yashica. It's ain't got nothing to do with rich or poor. If it's a good camera, it's a good camera. So that's the timer. That's the self timer. So this was in a leatherette. It's obviously been kept in a leatherette. The leatherette is fairly well worn, but the camera itself looks really clean. There's no scratches on it. There's no wear on it anywhere that I can see. The only thing that was wrong with it, which I take it as pretty common, is the battery cover, which I have somewhere, is bad. So it needs a new battery cover on it. Or actually, yeah, it needs a new battery cover, but I think you can fix that with some tinfoil or something. So like I say, I haven't looked at these. I haven't even thought about them in a year at least. And I started binge watching videos on them again this week. Kind of got excited about them again, and I'm gonna show you the prize here in a second. So this one here is the cheap one I bought for 35 bucks. Electro 35 GS, black and silver. You know, I think they make them in solid black. Anyway, it's a clean little camera, and I think, you know, the problems that they had with them had to do with the electronics and to do with the shutter button. But this one seems to work absolutely 100% correctly, and it really has little, if any, wear on the camera itself. So I'll put it back in this little leatherette cover and show you the real prize. Now, sometime not too long after I bought the old beater camera here for 35 bucks, I found another one. I wasn't really looking, I wasn't in the market, but Google started pushing videos at me again. I kind of got interested in the Yashicas again. And I found one on Facebook Marketplace next town over, which is highly unusual for around here, because this is not you don't find a lot of cameras around here, not an artistic type of place. We're in South Mississippi. I think I paid the lady 75 bucks for this, maybe. Whatever her price was, I didn't argue. I saw a few pictures on Facebook or wherever it was, and it looked absolutely pristine in the pictures. And all the pictures showed was the camera and the bag, I think. Nothing fancy about the bag. It actually stunk like cat urine, which is part of the reason it's been in my shop for, this has been airing out for a year. But there's no smell to it other than the little leathers. It smells like leather or something. It doesn't smell like cat. But none of the smell was on any of the equipment. It was just on the bag. So I just left it out to air out. But this one here is like brand new condition. It's got the guitar looking strap on it. The leatherette has absolutely zero wear on it. And I met the lady at a gas station, handed her 75 bucks. She handed me the camera and off I went. And I didn't, you know, I looked through it one time just to see. It's fogging up with me handling it. It's raining outside and it's kind of cool in here. So I looked through it to see if it was clear, and it was clear. And I said, hey, I'll take it, give it to me. So this is the Yashica GSN. I think the other one was a GS. This is a little fancier model, I think, or a little later model maybe, but everything on it functioned properly, and it was clean and had the battery cover on it. And even the battery cover is still good. The wire on the inside of it is still good. But in addition to that, and this will take a minute to go through this bag, but can you see the Yashica label on this? It came with screw-on, wide angle, and telephoto lens adapters. Factory Yashica telephoto and wide angle adapters. So this, as I look through the glass, I take it as probably the wide angle. I'd have to look at it for a minute to figure it out. Yeah, wide angle. And this one's a little bit dirty, it looks like, but it's the telephoto. I don't even know, I'm on iPhone 11. I don't even know which lens to hold it in front of. Along with the telephoto and wide angle lens, tucked down in here came an eyepiece. An eyepiece to go into the hot shoe on the thing. I mean, all the accessories that I've never seen anybody else have on these cameras. Also has the instruction sheet still in it. I mean, this camera, if I had to guess, somebody bought it when it was brand new, may have shot a few rolls through it, but really never used it because there's nothing worn on the thing. Now, if you know Yashica cameras, there's workarounds for the lack of a battery. You gotta come up with 6 volts. So I found all these batteries on sale at Rite Aid or Walgreens, and they amount to 6 volts. They're not the exact right batteries they call for, but I think if I stack them, they'll be the right size. And I'm gonna put them inside a piece of PEX tube, and I've seen a easy workaround for that. Strap ends. Okay, I'm just kind of going through this camera bag. I really don't remember what all else is in it. I haven't opened it in, like I said, well over a year. There's a manual. There's some filters. Okay, we've got the factory Yashica CS14 light for the hot shoe. I know the lighting's terrible in here. Yeah, you gotta forgive me. I'm in my shop and it's rainy outside and got some natural light. This is the best I can do for you at the time being. I might shoot this again later, but at the moment, there's a UV filter. There's a skylight filter, whatever that means. I've never seen a skylight filter. And there's a polarizer. These filters were with it. Some manuals. But is that not the coolest thing? That was 75 bucks. I think it was 75 bucks. It was no more than that. It was 65 or 75. It's even still got the little plastic piece to cover the hot shoe. I mean, my brand new Fuji. I don't even have that anymore. It's laying in the dash of my truck somewhere. Don't knock that light over. You can walk through. And the more I play with this stuff, it is just, it's got loops in it for extra rolls of film and the strap. I don't have that on even on my nicest stuff. There, right there, I gotta try that out. So there's my Yashica Electro 35 GSN in absolutely brand new, pristine condition. I'm talking about fresh out the box, brand new. It would not surprise me if it's never had a roll of film to it, but I'm sure it has. It's got a little wear on the box for the flash, so somebody's played with it at some point. But it's brand new looking. I'll when I get the battery set up in it and get it working, I'll bring you back and do some test photos. You know, go on a walk or something, go downtown and shoot some photos with it. That's it, man. I hope y'all like it. I'm excited about the thing. I haven't, like I said, I've had it for over a year. Haven't touched it. Look how clean that thing. Look how clean that leatherette is. It has never been used hardly. Brand new. Anyway, thanks y'all. Come back for more. Subscribe. See you on the next one.